Welcome to Black Working Mother. Today, 3 ways to speak so that people will listen. Of course, coming from a communications background, I have a cheat sheet on this one, but here we go. Number 1, practice. It's really, really important to rehearse what you're going to say, as silly as it might sound. Some of the biggest pitches I've been to, boardrooms where I've had to really have nerves of steel and win that business, I've only managed to do because I've rehearsed. Stand in front of a mirror, I look at myself so I know how I come across, so I know that when I look at someone directly in the eye, I'm not going to get confused and lose my train of thought. It is really critical to rehearse what you're going to say so that you come across clearly and confidently. Number 1 tip. Number 2, and this one's really crucial, lose the ums. It's really easy to have a crutch, something that you feel comfortable with when you're lost or you need to buy time to think. So a lot of us go into I do it sometimes to make people comfortable, but I realize that they don't need me to make them feel comfortable. If what I'm saying is well thought out, then they'll catch on. Number 3, and this one is so cool because I've actually come across some sayings that we just say and we don't really think about. So I'm going to share them with you because I wrote them down on my trusty computer over here. Get rid of words that don't make any sense. Now we say these all the time and something's going to really surprise you. He intends to retire in 3 years' time. Have you ever asked yourself, why do we say 3 years' time? 3 years means 3 years. You don't need the time. It is what it is. So the time in this case is redundant. Lose it. Here's another one. Whether or not. I don't know whether or not he's coming. Thought about it? Got it yet? It's sufficient to say, I don't know whether he's coming. You don't need the or not. This one is my favorite. Past experience. We say it all the time. Research has shown that past experience, now experience already means it's in the past. So technically you don't need the past. Just say research has shown or experience has shown. You don't need the past, right? Estimated at about. Here's an interesting one. And you'll even hear like professionals say this, people who are reporters, journalists. So you might listen to a newscast or something and it goes something like this. Profit is estimated at about 10 million. Well, if it's an estimate, then you don't need to say at about. Just say profit is estimated at 10 million. See how redundant that was? Very unique. Whitney Houston has a very unique voice. Now, if something is unique, you don't need to say it's very. It's either unique or it's not. So you say Whitney Houston has a unique voice. You don't need to add the very. It's padding, adds no value, and just doesn't get to the point of what you're trying to say. Last but not least, I use this one all the time, and when I read this research, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to do that again. It's even in a song. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world, right? If you're going to think, who are you going to think to? Your neighbor? Your friend? Your cat? You only think to yourself. So next time you're tempted to say, and I thought to myself, catch yourself and say, and I thought. You don't need the to myself because obviously you thought to yourself, so it's redundant. Now, if any of those surprised you like they did me, today was just like a fun, lighthearted conversation on how to communicate better. Mean what you say what you mean, but on a more deep and probably more meaningful level. Communication is all about being understood. So some of these tips and tricks and rules might be a little, overstretching it. However, to really get people to take you seriously, you've got to mean what you say and say what you mean. The rest is irrelevant. Go out there and conquer the world, and I'll talk to you next time on Black Working Mother.